This right here is the first one in the hot seat because this is where your voices get to be heard, and that's right. This is the very first ever Q&A fan interaction in the hot seat, the very first in the hot seat for 2012. And until then, roll my intro.
You are watching the most interactive professional wrestling discussion show on the internet. WWE Impact Wrestling,
ROH Wrestling,
pro wrestling at its finest on In the Hot Seat with your host, Fort Miners Project.
Alright, what's going on, guys, and welcome to this week's episode for In the Hot Seat, and the very first episode for In the Hot Seat for 2012. Of course, this is the fan interaction Q&A session where I'm being joined by, of course, the voice of In the Hot Seat, Simon Aka HD. What's going on, man?
Well, not much, man. It's a pretty good tradition. Let's start the year off with the voice of the show. You know, it's a good way to do it.
Yeah, it's great to have you here on the show. We got a lot of great questions by the fans, so let's get started with the first question and the series of first questions that we got here, and that is from Team Rai. And this is a question, well, a topic that we have been talking about for quite some time. And do you think SmackDown should go live?
Holy shit. Yeah, every now and then, but I'm fine with SmackDown being, airing on Friday, being taped on Tuesday. But I love the way they do this, every now and then, where they have it on SmackDown or on Tuesday live on Sci-Fi. I think that's good. But the last one was, what a huge fail it was, the Christmas one.
Oh,
God dang.
yeah, with me, I don't mind it having it live once in a while since I have class, so it's kind of suckish with me. So every once in a while is fine, and the last one with the Christmas episode definitely was pretty much a failure. So that's pretty much it when it comes to my final thoughts on SmackDown going live. And the next question that we got here is, are you going to any WWE pay-per-views in 2012? And do you have any thoughts with that?
Well, I'm not, but yeah.
Alright, for me, I'm hoping to try and go maybe to Over the Limit since I know they're coming here in Raleigh, so that would be my first pay-per-view going since Royal Rumble 2008, so definitely I'm going to try and go to that, so that's it when it comes to that. The last question we got here is, what new or old DVDs or Blu-rays you want to pick up or have already?
Dude, it's a hard one for me because I have some DVD that I'm actually expecting right now. So
Okay.
I guess if y'all want to know what is my oldest DVD or what is the one that I want in the coming weeks, just turn into my update video, which is going to be coming in the coming weeks.
Awesome. Yeah, for me, there's a couple of DVDs or Blu-rays that I'm looking to get. I'm definitely looking to try and get the Stone Cold DVD. I haven't really checked that out yet, so hopefully sometime within the weeks or whenever I will try and get to pick that up. Also, the King of the Ring, I have been looking into that one. That one looks good. And whichever other DVDs that are coming out, I will be looking to get. So that's it when it comes to me. Next question we got here, and that is from the Mad Scientist 7890. And this is going into, if MVP and Mr. Kennedy were still in the WWE, how would you push them into the main event?
Well, I think those are the kind of guy that could, like MVP in MVP situation, that guy could come back and make an impact instantly. He's been in Japan. He's done a few independent in the United States. The way to push him, I think the credibility is already there when it comes to character-wise. So it wouldn't take much, to push them to main event. How to do that? It would depend on the time that they come in and the characters of the time, the time of the year. You can't really tell, like, right now.
Yeah.
At least not my personal opinion.
Yeah, to me, with Mr. Kennedy, since he had the whole thing with the Money in the Bank and everything, if he didn't lose that, I think it would have been nice to have him actually hold it going into the next WrestleMania or something like that, and have a good cash in and everything like that, and have a good championship run. So it sucks on what happened with that, and he didn't really get to have his championship shot. Same thing goes with MVP. Both definitely good wrestlers, and I think MVP would have had a spot where he would just to test the waters to see how he would do, maybe win the Royal Rumble and stuff like that. So definitely a two that I would have liked to see become champion during that time. So thank you for that question. Next thing we're going into, that is the most extreme wrestling, and with this question is that he's heard that the DVD release of WrestleMania 22, where we had Mickie James and Trish Stratus, that was edited where apparently Mickie James was touched in her lady parts, if you will. And do you have anything going on to add with that?
Well, it's they were approaching the PG thing at the time, so I think the V thing that she did, touching the V thing. I think it was a good move. I don't really care, but I didn't even notice that before I heard the actual Mickie James interview, which I believe she did with WrestleCast or whatever. So I didn't even notice until that. But it's on YouTube, people. So who cares?
Yeah. And I actually have the WrestleMania 22 DVD and the actual one, so I don't remember that being edited, of course, since it's the actual one that came out. So definitely it was a good match, and they had a good rivalry going. So I don't really have that edited, that I don't think. So going into the next series of questions here from Impossible956, and that is with the first question: do you think John Cena will turn heel after Kane's promo?
That's a hard one. I think if Cena turns heel, he's gonna be heel in a way where basically he's a heel up until WrestleMania, and he's only heel to the Rock fans. He's not gonna be 100% heelish. You can't really turn John Cena 100% heel.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, not right now. Not when he's the biggest name of the company and he's that guy. He's that guy. I would love to see it, but will it happen? I doubt it.
Yeah, as of right now, I think they're just testing the waters and see what's going to happen and see how the fans will react and try and go for like a part-time heel run or something like that. So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen with this. We saw Roddy Piper try to get into John Cena with that. Now we see it with Kane. So we'll have to definitely see what's going to happen next.
It's actually to the point where if people buys the Cena Suck t-shirt, which is available at live events and on www.shop.com, they're supporting John Cena the exact same way as if they would buy the Raise Above the Hate shirt, So it is what it is. If you want to hate on John Cena to be cool, then go ahead.
Yeah. Alright, so moving along into the next question, and do you think Dolph Ziggler is the future of the WWE and the future WWE champion?
Oh, no doubt. 2012, Dolph Ziggler must win a world championship and actually keep it for more than 20 minutes this year. That would be the goal of the year for Mr. Dolphy Z.
Yeah, I'm definitely a huge fan of Dolph Ziggler. I'm liking what he's doing as of late. He has this whole thing with the show-off gimmick and everything that's working really well. And I do hope he does hold the championship longer than he had with his SmackDown run and everything. So far, things looking into 2012 for Dolph Ziggler is looking to be great. So I am looking forward for that. And also, going into the last question, what is your favorite pay-per-view of all time?
Well, it's a hard one for me. If I would have to pick one for some odd reason, I would go with the first one I actually really saw live at a cinema, which is now really the location where I watch all the pay-per-views nowadays. It would be Vengeance 2002. That's just my personal opinion. It wasn't the best pay-per-view. There was a few things, but when it comes to the pay-per-views, just it has a special meaning to me, which is why it is, my favorite pay-per-view of all time, at least so far.
Yeah. And you know where I'm going with this one, since I've been mentioning it a lot. Definitely WrestleMania 18 just had a lot going on to it, a lot of matches on the card. Of course, we had The Rock and Hogan going in that one, so definitely one of my favorite WrestleManias and as well pay-per-views of all time. And there are so many more, so that is just one that I can think of as of right now. And next thing that we got here, and these are your questions if you care to answer them, if you will. And
damn good question. Good question. Telling you people.
Alright, what is the oldest WWF pay-per-view DVD do you have? If you care to answer that.
Currently, the oldest WWE DVD I have is King of the Ring 2000 DVD.
Okay.
I actually ordered SummerSlam 1999 and
awesome.
I'm fixed to receive this in the next week. So that would be my oldest one, I guess. But currently, for this very second, King of the Ring 2000.
Yeah, with me, I have quite a few of them. I have WWF Action, Invasion. Those are, yeah, the pay-per-view Invasion. That's probably one of my oldest ones that I have. I don't really have too many 2001s, 2002s. Hopefully, I'll try and eventually get all of them since they're really hard to find in a way, at least for me anyway. But I want to say Invasion and the other one, which is WWF Action. So that's it when it comes to that. Also, the second question that you do have here, and what is your favorite Hall of Fame acceptance speech so far?
You know, it's funny because I'm answering my own question, but anyway, I would have to go with maybe Austin or Shawn Michaels.
Okay.
Ric Flair was very, very emotional too. You know, there's definitely Eddie Guerrero up there. It's like you can't pick who's your favorite of all time, but. Austin, you know, I feel like the Shawn Michael one was good. I just can't pick one for me personally, which is really why I actually asked you the question. But yeah, go ahead and give your answer.
Yeah, for me, I have two with this one, the Eddie Guerrero one and the HBK. I think those two so far, and the Ric Flair one was one of the emotional ones, so definitely I would have to go with those two when it comes to acceptance speeches so far for the Hall of Fame. Next thing that I got here, that is from Duke CT, and he asks, what would you do to fix the tag team scene in the WWE?
I think a lot of people are bitching over way too much thing, and the tag team thing is just one of those situations. The WWE tag team division will never be as hot as it was back in 2000 and 2001, when it was, you know, the Edge and Christian against Dudley Boys against the Hardys. At that time, those tag teams took the tag team division to its highest, and it will never be as high as it was at that time. You can tell by the main events, but it's just, there's not that much a problem. I think there's a lot of people who are trying to find, you know, errors and bitching about stuff that really doesn't need to be bitched about, in my personal opinion.
Yeah. In the beginning, to me, it did bother me, but as of right now, I've gotten used to it, and there really isn't too much of a problem. There are tag teams actually coming on in and really looking to have the shot for the tag team championship, so the tag team scene right now is actually fairly decent, so I will say that, and it hasn't really been bothering me all that much, so that's it when it comes to me and my thoughts on that.
The problem is people are expecting tag teams to be as good as the Hardys against, you know, the TLC guy, the Edge, Christian, Dudleys, and Hardys. You know, it's never gonna be as high as that. Don't get your freaking, you know, it's never gonna be as high as that. So you can't really expect it to be as good as it was back then. It can't be.
Yeah. Alright, the next series of questions we got here, of course, is from What Pisses Me Off 710, and his
Johnny.
And the first question from him is, who is your favorite wrestler and why?
Austin, no doubt about it. Well, at least of all time, you know, Austin of all time, and currently it's Randy Orton for me.
Alright, definitely of all time for me, it's got to be The Rock for sure, and as of right now, currently it's definitely Christian, even though he's out with injury right now, so hopefully he'll get back in. Alright, the next series of questions we got here, continuing on with John. Who should be the face of the WWE?
That's a hard one. I think the face of the WWE, it's either John Cena or CM Punk. To me, I would go with John Cena just because of the fact that, well, he's a little bit more, you know, mainstream accepted, if you want to put it that way. Like, if in certain ways you send CM Punk to, like, you know, a kid show or whatever, and it wouldn't be as much. Look, the bottom line is this: Make-A-Wish Foundation is affiliated with the WWE, and there's absolutely nobody else that has more wish granted than John Cena. You know, that did stuff for the kids. So John Cena should be the face of the WWE. And he's underrated by the internet wrestling community, in my personal opinion, so it is what it is.
Yeah, if you want to go after John Cena, maybe someone like a CM Punk, since I didn't really see who can be actually the face. Of course, the two faces are right now John Cena.
Randy Orton.
Yeah. So if you want to go after that, maybe someone like a CM Punk or someone like that to be the face of the company right after John Cena and Randy Orton. And the next question that he has here, what is the best feud ever in your opinion?
Austin and McMahon. In-ring wise, Austin and The Rock.
Yeah. For me, I'm going to have to go with Austin and The Rock. Definitely, those two had great matches, and you can definitely not touch those. And there were definitely, of course, a lot of great rivalries and feuds and all that in the past. So definitely, of course, I'm going to have to go with Austin and The Rock. And jokingly, who is the Raw general manager in your opinion?
I'm going to have to go with Osama bin Laden.
Alright, to me, I'm going to have to go with Mick Foley. That's just me. And the last question that he has right now, who is the best heel in the WWE?
That's a hard one.
Or you could go with heels, I guess that'd be fine. If you want to make it easier.
I can't even think right now. The best heel currently?
Yeah, best heel right now.
I would go with Michael Cole.
Michael Cole? Oh, I guess it works, yeah.
I don't know, man.
But yeah, Michael Cole is a good heel. If you want to go with guys like Dolph Ziggler and so on,
Yeah.
as of right now. So I'll have to go with Dolph Ziggler. And the last series of questions we got here, well, two from Rotisserie Jamie. And what is your favorite Undertaker match?
I would have to go. That's a hard one, I think, for me. I'm gonna have to go with probably the Vengeance 2002. Going back to again, I mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
Rock against Kurt Angle against the Undertaker. Vengeance 2002 for the WWE Undisputed Championship.
Tremendous. To me, I'll probably have to go
Don't steal
with...
mine.
What was that?
Don't steal my line.
I'm sorry, it's a great word.
Tremendous.
But for me, I'll probably have to go maybe with Undertaker and Edge as of right now. There's so many other great Undertaker matches, so I definitely enjoyed this series that they had with Undertaker and Edge. And the last question that we got here, if you can come up with any tag team in the WWE and make them to an actual tag team, who would it be and what would their names be?
I can't really think of a name, but I always loved the Power Trip tag team, which was, of course, the team of Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H. You know, in 2001, those two they ran rampant. And I know on the Austin DVD, he said it himself that if he could go back to that time, he wouldn't have the heel turn as he had at the time, because it didn't really work out for his career. I personally always loved Austin's heel turn. In 2001, always thought he was credible, and if I would have to pick, a tag team, I'm gonna have to go with, Power Trip type team, John Cena, Randy Orton being heel. Fuck, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and to me, I haven't really thought about this, so it's kind of hard for me, especially with the name too. I guess going with currently right now, either someone pairing up with Chuck Beretta, or maybe Tyson Kidd, maybe the both of them going at it as a tag team. I'm not really too sure what the name would be, but I think that would be actually a pretty interesting tag team, since they really aren't too shown that much, and so I think that would be pretty cool. And that's basically it with all the questions and all that stuff. Is there any other stuff that you would like to talk about before we end the show?
Well, not much. I just want to promote my stuff, of course.
Right, sure,
Twitter.com/SimonMichaelHD, YouTube.com/SimonMichaelHD. I'm sure all of this is in the description box, as David is a good promoter.
Yep.
And, of course, see our Ustream show, which we do every pay-per-view day. And tonight, post-show for Raw. If it goes live this week, then, of course, we're going to have the last one next Monday. So turn into that. And that's pretty much it.
Alright, so I want to thank you and as well everyone else sending in the questions, and I think this turned out pretty damn well, and hopefully maybe we'll get to do this, I don't know, maybe once a month or something like that, just to see how it goes. So thank you guys for tuning on in and sending your questions. Be sure to like this video and leave a comment, and feel free to leave a video response or 3, doesn't really matter. And that about does it for the very first fan interaction Q&A and the very first In the Hot Seat for 2012. Until then, peace.